Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk a bit more about the investigation, particularly around how you write up your assignment. So I just thought I'd start again with the assignment sheet, and let's go down to where it describes what you actually need to write. So that's described down here. So basically what you need to have is an outline of the problem and the context, the reason for wanting to solve the problem. You need to describe what method you're going to use or what sort of strategy you're going to use, which in this case is graphing different polynomials and looking at the roots and the turning points and the points of inflection and trying to come up with a conjecture around those. So you need to put that in your own words. Then you actually need to give the bulk of the assignment where you give your graphs and your tables and your interpretation of what's going on. And then you need to summarize your results and conclusion and give any bibliography and appendices. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to step through that again in a little bit more detail, just with a PowerPoint here. So when you think about what you're writing in your introduction, I want you to think about what you're actually investigating and tell me what that is. Tell me why it's important, why it's interesting, why is it something that a mathematician would be interested in. And then give me a summary of the method or the techniques that you're going to use in order to solve the problem. This should be about one paragraph, maybe two. Okay, then you've got the results of the main body of your investigation. This is the bulk of your page count. Each type of polynomial that you investigate should have one table. Now, you're probably going to end up with about 4 to 5 different types of polynomial by the end of your investigation. So each of those types of polynomial will be in one table with maybe 3 or 4 different graphs for each one. Okay, so we're looking at maybe 12 to 15 graphs in total. Now, when you look at each different type of polynomial, I want you to have a paragraph before each of those little tables explaining what you're about to do. And then I want you to have a paragraph after each table summarizing your results. So summarizing how many turning points there are, how many points of inflection there are. And this is the point where you might want to give a conjecture. So the conjecture is like a rule that you've come up with based on your observations. So it doesn't have to be something that you've proved mathematically. It just has to be a rule based on what you've seen in your results. So, for example, if you looked at your results and every single graph had only one turning point, you would say that for that type of polynomial, your conjecture is that there's only one turning point. Okay? So after you've done all of that, you need to write a conclusion. So this is about 2 to 3 paragraphs in total. You need to summarize your results and your conjectures that you came up with throughout the main body. So don't be afraid of repeating yourself. You can give that summary there, and it would probably be a really good idea to summarize that using a table. And then what I want you to do is discuss whether your results and conjectures are reasonable. Do they seem like they make sense? And also whether there's any limitations on your conjectures. So are there some types of polynomials that you haven't looked at that maybe your conjectures don't apply to? So that's the reasonableness and the limitations. And then finally, I want you to talk about how you think those results could be useful. So how could a mathematician or a math student use these results to make their life a bit easier? Okay. Now what I just want to do finally is have a look at the assessment rubric so that just so that you get an idea of what I'm looking for when I mark the assignment. So if you have a look, let's look at the A grade because the A grade tells us what the highest level is. So let's have a look through these. Basically there's 4 different criteria on the left and 5 different criteria on the right. Now the 4 on the left are about your actual mathematics and whether your mathematics is correct and whether you've done that well, and we'll explain what that means. And then the right-hand side is all about your reasoning and communication. So that's about how you have demonstrated your thinking and how you've communicated your results. So if we look down the left, you need to show for an A grade a comprehensive knowledge and understanding of concepts and relationships. So show me that you understand what's going on. You need to select and apply mathematical techniques and algorithms to find efficient and accurate solutions to routine and complex problems. So this one's all about how you've actually used your mathematics to solve problems. The third one down here is about finding using mathematical models to find concise and accurate solutions. So in this case, the mathematical models is more about the conjectures that you're using based on your polynomials. So you need to come up with a model for describing how many turning points and inflection points there are that's accurate to start with, but also concise, so it needs to be to the point. And then this last one here is about using electronic technology. In this case, that means using that electronic technology to create graphs. So if you've hand-drawn your graphs, you're probably not going to get as high a mark here. Okay, if you look on the right-hand side, you need to give me comprehensive interpretation of mathematical results in the context of the problem. So this means you need to explain what's happened and interpret, show me what it means. You need to come up with logical conclusions with a comprehensive understanding of reasonableness and limitations. So this is the part that I was just talking about, where you need to discuss if your results have any limitations, so areas where you haven't looked at. You need to use accurate mathematical notation, representations, terminology. So you need to write things in a way that mathematicians would. You need to communicate your mathematical ideas and reasoning to develop logical and concise arguments. So this is about how you've written your assignment and how you use logic to build up your arguments. And then the final one here is about effective development and testing of valid conjectures. So this is where you come up with your conjectures. You need to give me conjectures that are actually valid, as in they're correct, but show me how you've developed them and how you've tested them. And in this case, you've tested them by looking at lots of different polynomials in order to see if the conjecture is consistent. Okay, I hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.